This video is about she was his true love, but she was promised to a king. If this story captivates you, please like the video, share it with loved ones, and write in the comments how it touched your heart. The forest was alive with the whisper of leaves and the distant howl of wolves, a symphony of nature that echoed through the ancient trees. Evelyn stood at the edge of the clearing, her heart pounding in rhythm with the thrum of the wild. She gazed up at the full moon, its silvery glow casting ethereal shadows upon the ground. It was here, in this sacred space, that destinies intertwined and secrets lay hidden. Evelyn, a voice rumbled low, rich and deep, pulling her from her reverie. She turned, her breath catching in her throat as she met the gaze of Kale, the formidable alpha of the Silver Moon Pack. His dark hair framed a face marked by strength and vulnerability, eyes gleaming like molten gold in the moonlight. Kale, she breathed, heat rushing to her cheeks. The air shimmered with unspoken tension, electric and alive. It felt like fate had drawn them together against the currents of their worlds. "You shouldn't be here," he warned, stepping closer, his presence overwhelming. "It is dangerous. The boundaries between packs are strict, and you know what is at stake." She swallowed hard, her pulse racing. "I know, but I had to see you. These arranged marriages, they're really suffocating. I am not just a pawn." He closed the distance, his hand brushing against her arm, igniting a fire within her that she couldn't extinguish. "Evelyn, you are bound to a king, and I am just the alpha of a rival pack." But the pang in her chest was undeniable. She could feel the pull of fate, a bond stronger than any obligation. "But my heart," she whispered, "my heart doesn't belong to him. It belongs to you." Kale's expression softened, yet behind his gaze lay a storm of conflicting emotions. "You cannot choose me. The alliance between your pack and the Dionysian kingdom is vital. If you reject this union—" "I don't care about the politics," she interrupted, desperation lacing her voice. "I care about us." Seth. He dropped his gaze, the weight of his responsibility pressing down like a heavy cloak. "What we feel is forbidden, a fire that could burn everything to ashes." Evelyn reached for his chin, lifting it gently. "I refuse to let my life be dictated by others. I was raised to believe in true mates. Kale, can't you see? You read my fate." His breath faltered as he fought against the instinct to claim her in a way that would shatter the worlds. "Even the consequences. Be damned," she cried out, her voice echoing in the night. "I'd rather risk everything than live a lie." "Your pack needs you," he murmured, pain etched into every line of his face. "The alliance is fragile, and I cannot be the cause of its collapse. If they found out, I would never betray you." Tears brimmed in her eyes. "But if I am forced into this marriage, I will lose myself. I can bear it, Kale." In that moment, silence enveloped them, filled with the weight of choices they hadn't asked to make. The moon bore witness to their turmoil, each beam illuminating the truth they both yearned to accept, a truth that could either unite them or drive them apart. "I've waited for this moment," he finally confessed, anguish threading through his voice. "Since the day I first saw you dancing in the moonlight with the others, you were radiant." "And you were a shadow in the night," she replied softly, her heart aching for the boy she had loved from a distance, now transformed into a man of strength and burden. "Fate is cruel," he said, stepping back, putting distance between them. "You deserve a future. A king will give you power, status, safety." "But I want you," she insisted, trembling. "Not a throne, not gold." The wind picked up, swirling leaves around them, carrying the scent of cedar and pine. Their instincts flared to her omega softness, contrasting against his alpha strength. The bond they shared tugged at their souls, an unyielding force. Kale turned away, fist clenched. "You must prepare for your wedding." "Kale, please," she begged, moving closer, not willing to accept this fate. "Don't do this. Don't walk away. I must protect you. I cannot be the reason you suffer," he said, voice breaking. "And what about your own suffering?" she pressed, desperation clawing at her insides. "Every moment apart from you feels like an eternity in hell." He faced her then, his eyes blazing. "Do you think it is easy for me? Knowing that you will marry a man who doesn't deserve you, I would fight kingdoms for you. And I would choose you every time," she cried, reaching for him. Their fingertips brushed, igniting a spark, a connection that sent shivers down her spine. But just as quickly, he pulled away, a shadow crossing his face. "You must go, before someone sees." "Kale, please." "Go," he roared, an alpha-esque command tinged with agony. "Before they sense our bond, before they take you away from me forever, you have to promise me you will be safe." The weight of his words crashed into her, binding her heart in chains of sorrow. "I want to forget you," she whispered, tears spilling down her cheeks. "You read my destiny." "Then remember me," he replied, voice thick with emotion. "Always." Heartbroken, Evelyn turned, fleeing into the depths of the forest, each step a painful reminder of what she was leaving behind. The moon shone overhead, an unwavering witness to their love and unbreakable bond twisted by fate's cruel hand. As she reached the edge of her pack territory, her heart ached with every pulse of the earth beneath her feet. She glanced back, half expecting to see him standing there, but all that remained was the whisper of the wind and the echo of their last words. In the days that followed, Evelyn prepared for the wedding that felt more like a shackle than a celebration. Each smile she wore was a mask, a fragile facade hiding the storm within. The kingdom buzzed with excitement, oblivious to her inner turmoil. On the eve of her wedding, she stood before the mirror, the gown of silk and white draping her form like moonlight captured in fabric. Her mother's voice echoed in her mind, whispering about duty and honor. "You'll make a good queen, Evelyn," her mother had said, pride lighting her eyes. "Bound to a king who will protect you." But could a king protect her heart? Could he ever take Kayla's place, the one who held her soul in his hands? Evelyn's thoughts spiraled into despair when a soft knock interrupted her musings. Her best friend, Aria, peeked in, concern etched across her freckled face. "Evelyn, you all right? The guests are starting to arrive." "Just preparing," she replied, forcing a smile. "You know how it is." Aria stepped inside, studying her. "You don't have to go through with this. Your happiness matters. You're not meant to be a prize." "But I must be," Evelyn whispered, the weight of her obligation crashing down anew. "It is what is best for my pack." "Your heart is more precious than any alliance," Aria said softly, taking her hands in her own. "You deserve true love, not just a title. You deserve Kale." Evelyn's heart twisted painfully. "But if I choose him, I shatter everything. I betray my family, my pack." "And what about yourself?" Aria challenged gently. "What will you gain by sacrificing your happiness? You deserve to live for yourself." As her friend's words settled, doubt began to blossom in the hollow places of her heart. What if the love she felt for Kale was worth the risk? What if her destiny was written in the stars, waiting for her to seize it? But just as hope flared, the sound of horn blowers echoed through the hall, announcing the arrival of the king. Panic surged within her. She was running out of time. "Evelyn," Aria urged, squeezing her hands, "make your choice before it is too late." With a final glance at her reflection, shimmering with the promise of a life she hadn't chosen, Evelyn took a deep breath. The moon hung high, a guiding light. If she was to fight for her true love, she had to act swiftly. "I will," she declared softly, determination igniting within her. "I will choose my destiny." And with that whisper of hope, Evelyn stepped into the world outside, ready to confront both her past and future. But little did she know, that choice would set off a chain of events that would change everything. Evelyn stepped into the grand hall, the opulent decorations swirling around her like a dream she had never wished to live. The flickering candlelight cast a warm glow, illuminating the faces of nobles and dignitaries who gathered to witness the union of the Dionysian kingdom and her pack. Her heart raced, each beat a reminder of everything she was about to lose. A light laugh broke through the anxious chatter, drawing her attention to the figure at the front. It was King Alaric, his handsome face set in an easy smile that masked the coldness lurking beneath. He radiated charm and authority, his dark hair neatly styled, his regal attire a stark contrast to the turmoil raging within her. "Evelyn," he called, his voice deep and smooth, wrapping around her like a velvet glove. "Come here, my dear, the guests are eager to meet their future queen." As she approached him, she felt the weight of everyone's eyes upon her. They were filled with expectation, but all she could think of was the golden gaze of Kale, the alpha of the silver moon back, and how it had ignited something deep within her. The memory of their last encounter pulsed in her veins, a bittersweet reminder of what she truly wanted. "Are you ready for your big day?" Alaric asked, his grin widening as he took her hand and pulled her close. "You will lead our people into a new age." Evelyn forced a smile, her mind racing. "I am ready," she lied, her voice barely above a whisper. Could she still escape, or had she already sealed her fate with this charade? The hall erupted in applause as she and Alaric took center stage, but her mind was distant, wandering to the depths of the forest where Kale ruled. The bond they shared felt stronger than any crown or title. She longed for the wild freedom of the woods, for the honesty of a mate's embrace rather than the gilded cage of a kingdom. Evelyn, the sudden voice broke through her thoughts, and she turned to find her mother, Lady Isolde, approaching with a sense of urgency. "You must remember your duty. This union is vital for our pack. Do not let your emotions cloud your judgment." "Mother, Evelyn began, but her mother held up a hand, silencing her. "No, you are not just a mere girl. You are the embodiment of our legacy." This is your moment to forge alliances, to bring strength to our people. Alaric will provide you with everything you need. Her mother's eyes shimmered with a mix of pride and desperation. Everything except love. Evelyn counted softly, a flicker of rebellion igniting within her. Love is a luxury, one we cannot afford. You must prioritize the pack above all else. Isolde's voice was sharp, her tone unyielding. You are to be queen, Evelyn. Do not forget that. As her mother sauntered away, leaving her alone in a cacophony of celebration, Evelyn felt the walls closing in. Above her, the moon hung full and bright, a silent witness to the battle in her heart. She needed to speak to Cale, to feel his strength and warmth one last time before this masquerade became her reality. The dance of festivities continued, and the music filled the air with an intoxicating blend of joy and despair. She needed to escape, just for a moment to breathe and think clearly. Quietly, she slipped away from the crowd, her heart racing as she made her way through the side corridors of the palace. Outside, the night air was a balm, cool and crisp against her flushed skin. The stars twinkled above, each one a reminder of her longing. The forest beckoned like a lost lover, and she hurried toward its embrace. As she entered the tree line, a familiar scent enveloped her, earthy, raw, and undeniably Cale. Evelyn? His voice, deep and resonant, stirred something profound within her. She hadn't realized how much she missed him until now. I am here, she called out, her heart leaping. She stepped further into the shadows until she spotted him leaning against a tree, muscles tense and eyes bright. Why are you here? He stepped forward, his voice a soft growl, filled with concern and longing. You shouldn't have left the celebration. I had to see you, she breathed, closing the distance between them. I couldn't stand the thought of marrying a man who listened to you. Cale's expression darkened, the turbulence in his eyes mirroring her own turmoil. Evelyn, you put everything at risk by coming here. If anyone sees you, if Alaric finds out. His voice trailed off, and she could hear the unspoken fears echoing between them. I don't care anymore, she whispered fiercely, stepping closer, feeling the heat radiate from him. I'd rather face the wrath of the kingdom than live a life without you. I want to fight for us. He reached out, his hands cupping her face, his touch igniting the flame inside of her. You don't understand the stakes. If you reject the king, your pack will be vulnerable. Alaric won't let it go. He'll come after you, after your family. I'd rather be vulnerable with you than safe with him. She pressed her forehead against his, heart racing as she spoke the truth. I want my heart to lead me, not my head. Cale's breath hitched, and in that moment the world around them faded, leaving only the two of them, bathed in moonlight. Evelyn, this bond we share. His voice trembled with longing. What we feel is more than just a passing attraction. You are my mate, and the thought of losing you. Then don't let me go, she blurted, desperation clawing at her insides. Let us run away, Cale. We can escape this life. He pulled back slightly, the gravity of her words pressing down on him like a heavy storm. You know we have responsibilities, and I cannot be the cause of your ruin. Then let me choose my own ruin, she cried, tears spilling down her cheeks. I would rather live in a world where I choose to love you than be a queen in a kingdom that stifles me. Cale's gaze softened, vulnerability breaking through the mask of the alpha. Evelyn, every wolf feels the pull of their true mate, but that doesn't erase the reality of our pack. I don't care about the packs, she insisted fiercely. I care about you, about us. I'd rather face the consequences than pretend. He shook his head, grappling with the turmoil within himself, the primal instincts of an alpha warred against the raw yearning of his heart. You deserve a future, a legacy. I am just a wolf from a rival pack. I could never give you what you need. Then why does it feel so right when I am with you? She pleaded, stepping closer, her heart racing. This bond, these instincts, they tell me you read my destiny. Cale's resolve crumbled beneath the weight of her words, and he wrapped his arms around her, pulling her close. Evelyn, he murmured, voice thick with emotion. If I could give you the world, I would, but I can ask you to choose me over your family, your pack. Then let me choose, she whispered against his chest, feeling the steady beat of his heart beneath her ear. Let me choose love. As they shared that moment, the weight of their choices hung heavy in the air, the moonlight glowing bright around them. But just as hope began to blossom in their hearts, the sound of footsteps echoed through the trees, the unmistakable cadence of guards patrolling their territory. Evelyn. Cale gasped, the urgency in his voice shaking her from their reverie. You need to go, now. No, I want to leave you, she shouted, panic surging through her, but he grasped her shoulders, his grip firm yet tender. Oh, please. His voice was strained, filled with a desperation that cut through her. I can let them take you away, not like this. With one last lingering look, she turned and fled deeper into the shadows, her heart shattering as she left him behind. The night air stunned her lungs as she ran, each step echoing her anguish. She sprinted past the trees, her mind racing with the possibilities of what lay ahead. The walls of the palace loomed closer, but her heart remained in the forest with a man meant to be hers. Back in the banquet hall, the festivities continued in her absence, but within her, a storm brewed. She could feel the weight of the decision looming over her. The world felt like it was closing in, with Alaric's spectre hovering at the edge of her mind, waiting to claim her. As the clock struck midnight, the time for a choice drew near. Would she relinquish her heart for political safety or embrace the uncertainty of love? With a stealing breath, Evelyn stepped back into the hall, intent on confronting her fate, her heart a wild drum echoing the passion she felt for Cale. "Evelyn!" Alaric's voice cut through the crowd as she, filled with determination. He approached her with a charming smile that failed to reach his eyes. "You've been gone far too long. Everyone has been worried." "I needed some air," she replied, forcing a smile that felt like a mask. "I just needed to clear my head before everything." "Ah, of course," he said, studying her with a predator's gaze. "But the night is young, and you have a role to play. The kingdom is waiting for its queen." He extended his hand, and she took it, her heart sinking deep within her chest. As they moved back into the throng of the celebration, a laughter and clinking of glasses surrounded them like a cage. She watched the nobles dance, an ocean of silk and finery waving in rhythm, but all she felt was the ache of Cale's absence. The music swelled, yet it felt like the echo of her own heart breaking against the walls of expectation. Alaric led her to the center of the hall, where the spotlight fell upon them. "Ladies and gentlemen, may I present my betrothed, the future queen of our realm, Evelyn." Cheers erupted, but Evelyn stood frozen, her mind racing. What was she doing? With every passing second, Cale's golden eyes haunted her thoughts, reminding her of everything she craved. Alaric turned to her, an insistent smile on his lips. "Shall we dance, my love?" She hesitated, the words catching in her throat as the music shifted into a slow, haunting melody. It was the song of their destiny, one she never wished to dance to. "Just one dance," he coaxed, sensing her reluctance. She nodded, allowing him to pull her close, her body fitting against his like a puzzle piece. But all she could feel was emptiness, a gaping void where her heart once soared. "Evelyn," Alaric murmured as they glided across the floor. "You look exquisite tonight, the people adore you, and soon they will love you as their queen." She forced herself to smile, but her heart was miles away, tangled in the forest with Cale. "Thank you, Alaric," she replied, voice barely above a whisper. "But this isn't what I imagined." "What do you mean?" he asked, tilting his head in confusion. "I thought," she paused, searching for the right words. "I thought I would feel something, excitement, perhaps." Alaric's expression hardened slightly. "When you are queen, your emotions will be secondary. Your duty is to the kingdom." Evelyn pulled away, catching his gaze with a fiery determination in her own. "And what about my happiness?" He chuckled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "Happiness is a luxury, my dear. You will learn to prioritize what truly matters." Tension crackled between them, and she felt her heart pounding in rhythm with her defiance. "No, I refuse to accept that," she asserted, her voice gaining strength. Just then, the doors burst open, and a commotion echoed through the hall. The laughter faded, and gasps of shock rippled through the crowd. A figure stepped forward, cloaked in shadows, moving with an air of chaos. Evelyn's heart raced. It was Cale. She felt her pulse quicken as she locked eyes with him, drawn to his presence like the tide to the moon. "Cale," she breathed, breaking free from Alaric's grip. The world around her faded as her heart soared. "What are you doing here?" "Evelyn," he said, his voice rough with urgency. "I came to find you. You can see Miriam. It is a trap." "Cale," please, she started, but Alaric's voice cut through. "Who dares to interrupt my wedding?" Alaric thundered, his eyes narrowing. The hall fell silent, all attention now on the tension swirling around them. "I do," Cale replied, stepping forward, defiance etched into every line of his body. "Evelyn is my mate, and she was never meant to be part of this arrangement." Gasps echoed in the hall, and Evelyn's heart raced as she realized the full weight of his words. "Cale, you shouldn't have come," she whispered, panic flooding her. "Why not?" he challenged, eyes fierce. "Because it is forbidden. Because you are meant to wear a crown. I will not let them take you from me." "Enough!" Alaric barked, fury igniting his features. "You have no claim here, Wolf. She is promised to me." "Promise is nothing when it is built on lies," Cale shot back, his voice low and dangerous. She deserves to choose her own path. You can TKH what S meant to run free. Evelyn's heart sought at his words, battling against the chains that bound her. She began, but Alaric stepped closer, his presence dark and foreboding. Choose your words carefully, Evelyn. You might not have a second chance. The room pulsed with tension, a battlefield of emotions swirling in the air. She felt the weight of the world pressing down on her, a choice that could shatter everything. Evelyn, Cale implored, stepping closer, his voice a soft murmur. You know where you belong. You know who you truly are. Tears brimmed in her eyes, the conflict raging within her soul. But what about my pack? What about the Alliance? What about the future? Your future is not made of politics and power, Cale countered, desperation wrapping his words. It is made of love, passion, in the wildness of the moon beneath our feet. Please choose me. The hall felt like it was closing in, the weight of expectations heavy on her shoulders. But in that moment, she remembered the whispers in the woods, the freedom of the night, and the truth that echoed in her heart. I choose love, she shouted, her voice ringing clear and true, breaking through the chaos. I choose Cale. Gasps filled the hall, stunned silence following. Alaric's expression morphed into shock, eyes wide with disbelief. You dare defy me? You will ruin everything. Everything is already ruined, she cried, her heart racing, fueling her courage. I refuse to be a pawn in your game, Alaric. I will not marry a man who doesn't love me. Cale stepped forward, proud and fierce beside her. Let her go, Alaric. You can keep her here against her will. Enough of this? Alaric roared, fury igniting in his voice. You think your love can protect you? I will not allow it. With a swift motion, he raised his hand, the air crackling with power. But before he could unleash his fury, a surge of energy erupted from Cale, filling the hall with a brilliant light. Stop! Cale's voice boomed, filled with authority. You will not hurt her. You will not take away her choices. The energy emanated from him, a shield against Alaric's darkness. The air vibrated with the force of their bond, unyielding and raw. Evelyn felt the magic pulse around them, intertwining with her heartbeat. It was a connection deeper than she ever imagined, a force that transcended worlds. Together, Cale said, his gaze locked onto hers. We can face anything. Yes, she agreed, feeling the fire inside her ignite with passion and purpose. I choose us. With that shared declaration, the energy exploded, a wave of power crashing through the hall, pushing against the darkness. The crowd gasped, some stepping back, caught between fear and awe. Alaric stumbled, his expression turning to anger as he struggled against the force. You think this is over? You think your love will save you? Evelyn took a deep breath, feeling the surge of magic envelop her. Love is stronger than anything you can wield, she declared, heart racing. It is our bond that will break the chains of tyranny. With a final burst of energy, she and Cale stepped forward, their hands clasped tightly. The light enveloped them, a protective barrier of their love against Alaric's darkness. I will not let you take her. Cale shouted, voice steady and unwavering. You will recognize her power and her choice. The energy coalesced, a brilliant display of light that consumed the room, silencing Alaric's fury. The crowd watched in awe, witnessing the manifestation of true love's magic, a force that could not be denied. In that moment, Evelyn felt an overwhelming sense of freedom wash over her. She was no longer a pawn, she was a queen in her own right, choosing her destiny and embracing the wildness of true love. As the light faded, the hall was left in silence, every gaze pinned upon them, two souls intertwined, defying the odds. Alaric stood stunned, his power dwindling against the strength of their bond. This is not over, he spat, rage boiling beneath the surface. Evelyn stood amidst the remnants of the power surge, her heart pounding with exhilaration and fear. Cale's hand felt like fire against hers, alive with the energy they had unleashed together. The air crackled, still vibrating with the remnants of their shared magic, a testament to their love's strength. I can believe we just did that, she breathed, disbelief mingling with hope. I thought it was over for us. Cale's golden eyes gleamed with determination. It has only just begun. Alaric won't let this go. He'll come after us. We have to be ready. Let him come, Evelyn replied fiercely, her heart swelling with newfound courage. I won't hide anymore. I want to fight for what we have. But as she spoke, doubt crept into her mind. But how? He is a king, Cale. He has power and armies at his disposal. What can we do against that? Cale's grip tightened around her hand. We have something he can never take away, our bond. Love is a force of nature, and we will find a way. Their gaze is locked, a silent promise igniting between them. But the mood shifted as Alaric regained his composure, the fire in his eyes now simmering with vengeance. "You think this is a victory?" he sneered, stepping closer, fury radiating from him. "You've only made things worse for yourself. You will pay for this betrayal, Evelyn." "Betrayal?" Evelyn echoed, defiance rising in her chest. "You were the one who tried to force me into this marriage without my consent. You never cared about me, only about power." Alaric's expression darkened, his voice lowering dangerously. "You think love will protect you from the consequences of your actions? I will ensure you suffer for this insolence." Before he could strike with the fury of his anger, Cale stepped in front of Evelyn, a fierce protector ready to defend his mate at all costs. "You will not touch her," he growled, his voice low and fierce. "You will not take away her choice." The tension in the hall crackled like a storm about to break. Alaric laughed, a sound filled with disdain. "You are nothing but a wolf from our rival pack, Cale. Your threats mean nothing to me." But Evelyn felt the weight of the crowd's gaze, their anticipation hanging in the air like a thick fog. She could sense their unease, how they saw her defiance as a spark of hope, or a dangerous betrayal. And then the unexpected happened. A ripple of whispers cascaded through the crowd as her father, the alpha of her pack, stepped forward. "Is this true, Evelyn?" he asked, his voice steady yet laced with concern. "You choose him over your future as queen, over your family?" "Father," she implored, desperation spilling from her heart. "I choose love, I choose Cale. I refuse to be a political pawn." "Do you not understand the ramifications?" her father pressed, his brow furrowing. "This union means protection for our people, a legacy that spans generations." "Sometimes legacy comes at a price," Cale interjected, stepping closer to Evelyn, his presence a steadfast anchor. "Her happiness is worth more than any alliance, more than any title." Evelyn's heart swelled at his words, but she could see the worry etched on her father's face. "You are blinded by passion. Daughter, love cannot shield you from the reality of this world." "Then let me face the reality," she pleaded, voice trembling. "I will not live a life dictated by duty alone. I want to forge my own path, and with Cale I can do that." "Enough!" Alaric shouted, his voice echoing through the hall like thunder. "You will regret this, Evelyn, I promise you that." With a flick of his wrist, he summoned the guards, their armor glinting menacingly in the light. They surged forward, eyes trained on Cale, their intent clear. Evelyn's heart raced as she felt the imminent danger closing in. "Cale," she cried, fear flooding her voice. "We need to go." But Cale stood firm, a protective wall between her and the advancing guards. "Stay behind me," he ordered, voice low and steady. "I want to let them take you." In that moment, Evelyn felt the weight of the world on her shoulders. She had chosen love, but now it felt like a curse, like a noose tightening around their fates. "They want to understand," she whispered, panic clawing at her heart. "They'll see us as traitors." "We'll make them understand," Cale replied fiercely, turning to face her fully. "Together we can show them that love is worth fighting for." But as the guards closed in, Alaric growled, "Seize him, bring him to me." Evelyn felt the world spin, fear coursing through her veins. "No, stop," she screamed, stepping forward, her heart pounding against her chest. "You can't do this, he is not your enemy." But the guards moved with swift precision, their loyalty to Alaric unwavering. Within seconds, they had surrounded Cale, weapons drawn, ready to strike. "Evelyn!" Cale shouted, his voice filled with urgency. "Run, you have to get out of here." "No," she cried, tears spilling down her cheeks. "I want to leave you." But in a swift motion, Alaric signaled for the guards to advance. "Enough of this foolishness. You will marry me, and this wolf will be dealt with." Cale's fierce gaze met hers, filled with an intensity that set her heart ablaze. "Remember, Evelyn, stay strong. No matter what happens, you're free." Just as the guards lunged towards him, Evelyn felt a surge of adrenaline rush through her. "Stop," she screamed, her voice echoing through the hall. "I want to let you hurt him. We are united." And in that moment, she felt the magic of their bond swell within her, a wave of energy that pulsed with the heartbeat of the forest. The moonlight illuminated her, casting a glow that seemed to resonate with her very soul. Together, she shouted, raising her hands, feeling the magic entwine with her intentions. "We choose love, we will not be separated." The air vibrated with energy as Cale stepped forward, mirroring her stance. Together, he roared, his voice powerful and commanding. The light enveloped them, a dazzling brilliance that pushed against the darkness of Alaric's chaos. The gods faltered, halted by the sheer force of their love, a wall of unbreakable light. Alaric staggered back, his eyes widening in disbelief. "What is this sorcery?" He spat, rage dusting his features. But the magic surged, filling the hall with a radiant glow that shimmered like stars against the night. The crowd gasped, a collective awe washing over them as they witnessed the manifestation of true love's strength. As the bond between Evelyn and Cale blazed brighter, they felt the shackles of expectations fall away. The power of their choice burned fiercely, illuminating the darkness that threatened to consume them. "Let them go," a voice rang out, Evelyn's father, stepping forward with newfound resolve. "Evelyn has spoken, she has made her choice, and we will honor it." Gasps of disbelief echoed through the hall, but there was a shift in the energy, a ripple of acceptance. The crowd began to murmur, caught between the power of love and the chains of duty. Evelyn felt the tide turning, the strength of her father's support igniting hope within her. Together, she echoed, turning to Cale, their hands still intertwined. "We can change everything." Cale's eyes burned with fierce determination. "Yes, together. We are destined for more than this." With a final surge of energy, they pushed against the boundaries set by fear and expectation, the brilliance blinding and powerful. Alaric's fury cracked against their bond, but he was outmatched, drowning in the light of their love. "Enough," Alaric bellowed, his voice breaking as he staggered back. "You think this will last? I will find a way to break you." "Not if we stand united," Evelyn declared, her voice steady and unwavering. "Love conquers all, Alaric, this is only the beginning." The brilliance enveloped them, caressing the edges of their souls, a shield against the darkness threatening to tear them apart. Evelyn felt the magic solidify around them, a promise that their love would endure, no matter the challenges. And in that moment, as the light enveloped them, she knew that they would face whatever came next, armed with the strength of their bond, the power of their love, and the hope that had risen like dawn after a long, dark night. Together, they would forge a new destiny, a legacy built on love, unity, and the untamed spirit of the wild. And as they stood hand in hand, they knew that nothing could ever separate them again.